Hi there, my name's Bruce Rain from Brenkus Creations. Final Cut Pro has this great shape masking tool in the effects browser. So simple to use, just drag it onto your clip, resize the mask, set the curvature of the rounded corners and the feather size, and you're good to go. But the moment you resize the mask into a rectangle rather than a square, the rounded corners and the feather get distorted. The feather can be resolved by clicking Fixed Feather in the parameters, but there's no option for fixing the distorted corners. Now, this may not bother you, but it drives me bananas. Thankfully, there is a nifty way of getting around this by creating a custom shape mask effect with Apple's Motion software. If you're new to Motion, this may seem a little daunting, but I'll go through it step by step and you'll see just how easy it is. Start by launching Motion, which will bring up the project browser window. Select Final Cut Effect. The preset and frame rate options in the top right should represent the type of editing you usually do. Select 4K if you're usually editing 4K footage, but I'll select 1080 because that's typical for my videos, as is 25 FPS frame rate. Now press the Open button. Next, we want to draw a rectangle, so select the Rectangle tool underneath the preview area and draw a rectangle. The size isn't important. Now we need to focus on the Layers tab. Drag the rectangle onto the effect source, like this. And just like that, we've turned the rectangle into a mask. At this point, we could technically export this to Final Cut Pro, but we want to create some controls, such as the size and location of the mask. Over to the left, you can see the library. But if you click on Inspector, you will see all of the available parameters for the mask we have created. This is broken into 4 sections: Properties, Behaviors, Filters, and Mask. Properties and Mask are the only ones we need to look at. All of these parameters can be made available to edit in Final Cut Pro, but in order to do that, we need to publish them. However, I don't actually need all of them. Let's start with the rectangle dimensions. Over here in the Mask tab, there is a parameter for size. Click on the little disclosure triangle to reveal the width and height. As you can see, sliding these changes the width and height of our mask shape. To the right of each parameter is a little triangle. When clicked, it'll reveal a pop-up menu. At the very bottom is an option to publish. Select Publish for the width and for the height. If you accidentally publish the wrong one, just go back and select Unpublish. Next, we want to publish the Roundness option, which controls the curvature of our mask corners. Now we need to publish the feather and the fall-off to control the soft edges of our mask. And it's probably not a bad idea to publish Invert Mask. I don't use this much, but it's an option in the default shape mask of Final Cut Pro, so we may as well retain that functionality. Next, we need to click on the Properties tab to see some more controls. Publish the position. This will publish both the X and Y position parameters, allowing us to move the mask around. Click the rotation disclosure triangle and publish the Z axis. And the last parameter to publish is opacity. One last step we need to take is to make sure all of our parameters make sense once they're taken out of context here in Motion. I'll show you what I mean. Go back to the Layers tab and click Project. Over in the Inspector, click on the Project tab. Here you can see all of the parameters we published with their default names from Motion. We want to rename some of these so that they make sense in the context of an effect in Final Cut Pro. Double-click a parameter name to change it. I'm going to change width.size and height.size to just width and height. I'm going to rename roundness to curvature to match the naming convention of the default Final Cut Pro shape mask effect. Z.rotation can just be called rotation. Another option we can change is the order of these parameters. I think I'd like the position to appear first, followed by the width and height, and then the rotation. I think curvature, feather and fall off next, and then invert mask and opacity last. The settings you see here will be the default every time you apply this effect, so I might just neaten it up a little. I'll set the X and Y positioning to 0 and I'll make the width 960 and the height 540, exactly 1/4 of the HD display area. Now we're ready to make this new effect available in Final Cut Pro. Press Command S or select Save from the File menu. Give this new effect a name. I'm going to call it Smart Mask. I would like this to appear with the other masking tools, so I'm going to select Masks and Keying from the category drop-down. If you don't see Masks and Keying there, don't worry. Just select New Category and name it Masks and Keying. Make sure you match the category name perfectly to the name as it appears in Final Cut Pro. Now press the Publish button. And that's it. You have just created your own custom effect in Final Cut Pro. Now when we go back to Final Cut Pro and look in the Masks and Keying category of the Effects browser, you should see the new Smart Mask effect. Let's get rid of our old Shape Mask effect from this clip and drag on the new Smart Mask. I can set the mask position with the X and Y controls, set the width and height, the curvature and the feather, and as you can see, no distortion on the rounded corners. If you found this video helpful, please press the like button, and I do hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.